drama in the NBA with KD and Perk trying to have their way. But somehow, somewhere, we hear big Zion comeback news like every single day. Mr. Morant ruling like jar, the WNBA getting their payday, and hyping up all the above. The one, the only love. The ball is Bay. NBA podcast. Your favorite NBA podcast in an Indian accent. We are back at it again with the first episode recording of this new year, 2020, where our first resolution is to not discuss each other's resolutions. In a week where the third returns of the NBA All-Star 2020 votes were announced, we have LeBron and Giannis leading the way, but we also have 2020 official NBA meme, Alex Caruso in the top 6 of fan voting. Speaking of internet sensations, I've got with me, as always, GIF Lord Extraordinaire, lover of Europe and supporter of ecosystems of all kinds, Vineet Devaya.
Vineet, what's up? How is this a little weird, but what is up? How is it in Warsaw, Poland?
It is pretty good. I had a good time with the Christmas and New Year's celebration. It snowed for a little bit. It's nice and cold and just what I was expecting. I was expecting more snow. I think I complained about this in the previous pod also, but I definitely was expecting more snow. Well, there is no snow.
You did complain about it.
There's no snow in Warsaw, but you know where there is snow?
In Kurg?
In OKC, my friend.
Oh, whoa.
Actually,
wait. No, that's not so much.
I just wanted a cool transition.
No. We were talking about Warsaw. Did you check out any nice places in Warsaw, like the Holocaust Museum or something? I mean, I'm not sure it's a definition of a nice place, but
I have not done any sightseeing in Warsaw. I have done a lot of eating. I've done a lot of walking. I've done a lot of meeting new people. But no generally sightseeing takes like 1 or 2 days, and I usually keep it for the last week or something. So I've been here for almost a month for today, and then as of today, sorry. And I'm going to be here for another 11 days. So I'm probably going to go maybe next week or something. Just do all the museums and the palaces and whatnot. I mean, most places like the touristic stuff, you can see it in 2 days, and I generally find them very boring anyway. So I really like the walking in the streets and like going to like random places and eating food and talking to people. And the one cool thing, if we are talking about Warsaw, is something called the milk bars. So the milk bars are milk bar.
Wow.
Yeah, but
do they have milkshakes?
Yeah, it's not what you think it is. It is basically like a canteen. So the canteen, like the Indian canteen, is called a milk bar here. And what is interesting is that one is obviously the food is super cheap, and it's got this really communist. Like there used to be a time where Poland was communist. It's got the whole communist feel. Kind of like really boring colors, boring tables, boring chairs. And like you have to stand in line and you pay, and then they give you a slip, and you take that slip to the counter, and then the counter lady will like.
Sounds pretty Indian to me.
Yeah, it's like a canteen. That's how canteens are, right? And so that was one cool experience. The food was really cheap and really good.
But was it good?
Yeah.
Okay.
And really good. Yeah. So
I've heard of milk bars. As in when I was in Bangalore, there was this place called Lakeview Milk Bar, which I thought would have more milk things, but it turns out it was something like this. So I'm not sure if somebody in Lakeview Milk Bar went to Poland.
Well, it's possible. This. It's possible. I think this is like maybe like a communist thing, and India at some time had everybody. So maybe they had some communist people in Bangalore.
Yeah.
I mean, Kerala is communist. So
Kerala is very communist, and I'm wearing red T-shirt, which can't be seen, but I'm wearing red. It has nothing to do with my communist feels, but hail communism.
Yes.
Not really.
Not really. Capitalist. Send us some money.
Exactly. I mean, innovation is severely throttled in communism. But,
that is true.
Whatever.
That is true.
You have no incentive. Anyway, that's a discussion for a different day. Vineet, I want to ask you this, though. See, it's now the 13th of this new year, 13th day of this new year.
Okay.
Do you still find people coming up to you and wishing you Happy New Year? Because it's the first time this year they've seen you. Not because they're crazy, obviously. Because it's the first time they've seen you this year. Or heard from you or something. or is it an Indian thing?
No, I think it's kind of done. Yeah, I think it's kind of done. But I do get emails from people where they say, "Hey, Happy New Year," which is okay, I guess.
Oh. You still get emails, like personal emails, not work related.
No, work related emails.
Achha.
No personal emails. No one emails them person. Like there's no.
Except us, we email our guests.
Yes, but that's work, right?
Yes. Is that work? You call this work? That's pretty chill. I mean, usually you get paid for work.
No, it's unpaid work. There's always unpaid work.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not personal.
No, don't know about that. Anyways, I think we're still doing the topsy-turvy thing where you are the host, so I'm going to let you do the hosting duties from now on, and not from now on, but at least for this episode, because I'm still moving into my new house and everything is a little shaky.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm learning to be the host, and a pretty good one actually. There was like great reviews about the last time I was the host.
I said last time I was host, we had 1 review on Apple Podcasts, and now we have 3 reviews.
Yes.
So must have something to do with you.
It has to do something with me. So like 3 reviews.
Yeah.
We are in the top 50 basketball podcasts in the
Absolutely. In India.
World.
India is my world.
Yes.
Jai Bharat Mata ki jai.
But the interesting part is that we are the only like sort of indie.
Only homegrown.
Podcast in the top 50.
So absolutely.
Which is great.
Which is facts.
Absolute
facts.
Hashtag facts.
Yes.
And anyway, now that we have bored our audience enough with our drabblings,
please don't leave us. Yes.
Let's talk about basketball, shall we?
Yes.
But before we talk about basketball, let's talk about Twitter.
Okay. Oh, whoa.
The basketball
Twitter,
on Twitter.
which is also
Right.
Twitter, NBA Twitter.
NBA Twitter is great Twitter, and you are the right person to ask this question, and that's why I wanted to have this pod, because you have been
Definitely.
an OKC fanboy since 2000.
I was a Thunder fanboy. I mean, I was a Durant fanboy, and then I realized Durant plays for OKC.
Let me finish. Don't talk over it. This is what we discussed. Hashtag when I'm the host. When you're the host, me talking over you is totally fine.
It's totally fine. Okay, go for it.
So you were the first person that I ever met who was a Thunder fan, right? Because it was very recent. I think in 2012.
We met in 2012.
When we met, and I think Thunder was made in like 2011, 2010.
No, I think
2009. Okay, 2009 was officially when Thunder was there, and when I met you, I was very surprised that there is an OKC Thunder fan in India, and and you were like a true Thunder fan. You used all the hashtags. You always answered all the questions by NBA India with the hashtags. So you were like a true fan. And
yes, sir.
So let's start off with what happened on Twitter. If you are, obviously we are late. We are almost a week late on this news. But
what's new?
But I'm sure people have heard about what has happened.
Why don't you just give them anyways?
Okay, so basically it was very simple. Our main man Russell Westbrook, all-decade second team
/ first team,
mostly second team,
mostly second,
was coming back to Houston, and Kendrick Perkins, who was a former teammate, kind of tweeted saying that he's Mr. Thunder, the most accomplished player, and to which I think a person from the Boston Celtics media group sort of chimed in to say, hey, I think it's probably Kevin Durant who's the best player of the Thunder. And that's when the main man, our big boy,
Snake himself,
KD, decided to chime in with some comments about Kendrick Perkins' contribution to the Thunder loss that Kendrick Perkins was talking about. And it just seemed like, that conversation was over at that point where, it seemed like a joke. KD kind of just had a joke.
I think they emoji shook hands also.
They shook hands and it was all over. And, for a second, I just thought, okay, this is going to blow up. Because I was seeing this real time. I don't know if you saw this, but
No.
I saw this real time, right? Like, and so I was like, oh, this is over. I was kind of like a little disappointed. But then Kendrick Perkins comes back after 20 minutes with this like, crazy tweet out of nowhere about how KD is being salty and like he was such a
He's not a real
pussy, not a
champ.
real champ. I mean, he went deep. He went really deep. He cut really deep. And I thought we should discuss it because why not?
Yeah.
Right. So
Why
according
not?
to you, who is the greatest Thunder? Who is the best player to have ever played for the Thunder?
I think that's Kevin Durant without doubt. Best player to ever play on a Thunder team. I mean, OKC Thunder team, not
Yes.
counting that they moved from Seattle and all that.
Yes.
Absolutely Kevin Durant. But Mr. Thunder, there is no doubt in my mind that that's Russell Westbrook.
So you would say
you see.
So
You can have my analogy is something like this. Like
Okay, your analogy.
you got married the first time. Okay, you got married. You had one kid, and this guy was amazing sex. It was great sex. I mean, this guy paid for you and all, and then he left you down to the dumps. This other person comes in, he takes you in, he takes your kids in, he builds you up throughout the age, and then let's just say he dies. Like, would you respect the first guy more or would you respect the second guy more?
This is not a great analogy because both the guys were also together.
Well, I mean, I did not say it was a perfect analogy. I just said it was an analogy. Because what you're doing is, see, Russ was there. Russ could have left when KD left. He could have done what Kawhi did, sort of, and said that if you don't find me someone else, then I'll leave. And that first year, they didn't find anybody else. They found Victor Oladipo, who couldn't do much. And Russ stayed with the team. He gave the exact same effort he gives all the time. Right now he is the Thunder's leading points, rebounds, assists person on the Thunder team.
Right.
And he's been with the franchisee for longer. He's been through the good times and the bad times, and he did not do any snake. I mean, there's no way in hell Kevin Durant, after the way he left, would ever be Mr. Thunder. I'm not denying that Durant is the best player to ever played for the Thunder. I mean, there's no denying that. I mean, no one who's watched basketball will ever say no. But no chance he is Mr. Thunder. Because Mr. Thunder means, I mean, there's a certain, a connotation to being Mr. Thunder. Like, Nick Collison probably was the previous Mr. Thunder, not because he was great or anything, but, you always, as he did I think that was his nickname also, Mr. Thunder. Not because he put up points or, stuff, but it has got different feelings. That's what I think.
Okay. So I think I agree with you on this, which is like Russell Westbrook is probably Mr. Thunder in terms of he was a very good player. I mean, he still is a very good player, and he played for the Thunder, and he was loyal and all that stuff. And so I agree with you that for now he is Mr. Thunder, and Kevin Durant is the best player to ever wear the Thunder jersey for a longish period of time. Like tomorrow, LeBron.
I mean, he was there. He did sign I think 2 contracts. He signed his rookie contract.
I mean, he played for 9 years.
The second contract. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty good. I'm not saying,
right?
No, he was drafted in 2008.
Yeah, 9 years.
And left in 16. Yeah.
9 years. Yeah. That's a long time.
That's a long time, exactly.
And I think, so I'm going to play devil's advocate here, where I feel like people are being, you know my sentiments about the KD going to the Warriors and spoiling the NBA and all that stuff. But
yeah, exactly. You don't have a problem with it except the fact that he spoiled the NBA.
What?
You were like, it's okay, but you kind of ruined the NBA. Now we know who's going to win.
Yeah, that was my biggest problem. Like, I had no problem with him going to...
I had a problem with him leaving Thunder. You had a problem with him joining the Warriors.
Yes. And I think I think nobody blames him for leaving the Thunder. Thunder were going nowhere. They were not making the right moves. Russell Westbrook, for all the greatness that he brings, he does not fit in well with KD. Just the way he plays, and I don't know. There's something wrong with Russell Westbrook and his shot selection. I don't know what that is, but he'll probably figure it out. Right. So I don't blame KD for leaving the Thunder. I don't think he left it in a bad way. You don't
think that?
I don't think so. I don't think that because everyone's making this judgment because he decided to leave. There is no other way to leave a franchise than when you have an option to leave, you leave. He didn't do what AD did. He didn't do what Kawhi did. He didn't do what Shaq did when he had to leave Orlando. He didn't do any of it. Like, he played his entire thing. He took the team
Yeah.
to the Western Conference Finals, right?
Mhm.
And they almost won, right? And he played lights out in that series, right? So,
Yeah. I mean,
so he didn't go out in a bad way. He gave his best 9 years. 9 years he played for
yeah.
that, and he played
Yeah.
really, really well. I mean,
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
accolades he got, like they're crazy, right?
League MVP,
So as a person,
multiple scoring
sometimes you just
champion.
want a change of teammates, players, location, whatever it is, right? And I think players should be allowed to change teams if they want to, right? And if they are not getting, like there was a time where Tim Duncan was going to leave the Spurs after winning a
For
championship
Magic.
for the
Uh-huh.
Magic, right? Because maybe he
Uh-huh.
was not, because at
I
that
don't think a
point,
lot of people know that though.
I think
Like
it's
he was supposed to go to Orlando
with Grant Hill and T
with
Mac.
Grant Hill and T Mac. Yeah.
Yeah, and the reasoning was same. Like the Spurs didn't have people. Like no one would look at Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili and say, I don't think Manu Ginobili was there that time. I think it was only Tony Parker, and say that this is a team that can win, multiple championships. And it's just, but then Timmy just said, you know what, I'm Tim Duncan. I'm just going to make this shit happen, right? And so I think if KD would have done that, probably that would be okay. But I just think that Russell Westbrook and KD probably would never work. And he made the right decisions. Like, there is no way if I stay, they're going to get rid of Russell Westbrook. They're just not going to, because
I'm waiting for the part where you say but, and then you explain this other side, because it's just like we are discussing something which happened 3 years ago.
Yes. Well, the but part is that there's no but part. I feel like it is I feel like people are too salty about it, even today. And I think they need
Okay,
to.
then let me ask you a question. Let me
Okay.
make it a little easier for you. So one of Kendrick Perkins' accusations was, you don't deserve those rings. Right. He said you went to a 73-9 team. Those rings, you'll never be happy. And there's a lot of talk in the media also, like that KD didn't really, that when he won the chip, he didn't feel that everybody appreciated him, even though he was the best player on the team, without doubt. Best player in that entire series, no doubt. I'm not going to say he was better than LeBron, because at the end of the day, basketball is a team game and all that. But he was the best player on the team, MVP with Finals MVP without doubt. 2 years he did it. Third year unlucky, whatever. But he never felt that he got the recognition that was due. And I think you know why that was, because on joining team. But do you think Kendrick Perkins has any water in the argument that he is not a true champ?
No.
No.
I think any team that KD would have joined, that was not the Thunder. That was even like contention. Was like if you'd have gone to the Spurs or the Rockets or, I don't know.
Wizards. Like, there was a lot of talk of the Wizards.
Not the Wizards. Like I don't mean like a bad team. I mean any average team that KD would have gone to would have been a championship contending team. Right? Now
I think even the Wizards would have been championship contender with him and Beal.
I like the problem.
KD is an instant offense. KD is instant 35 points. Boom.
No, that is fine, but you need defense. You need all of that stuff. Wizards don't have that, right? So my point is that like KD picked an easier path. There is no doubt about it, right? But to say that if he would have joined any other team, it would not win a championship is stupid, because he's just so great. Like think about it, right? He left the Thunder and the Thunder could barely make the playoffs with this great Russell Westbrook, right? And these guys were perennial champions then. Like they could have been a championship team from 2012 till 2016, right?
16, yeah. So 17 if they had stayed, yeah.
So if he left and the team can barely make the playoffs, imagine how good that player is. Right? So I feel like like if KD would have joined any of the Western Conference teams that were kind of middling out, slightly getting into the playoffs, not into the playoffs, or even like one of the top sort of Eastern Conference teams, I think they would have been a title contender. Would they have won the title? I think they probably would have given the Warriors a run.
Any team that KD joined.
Any team that KD joined. Like you had the Rockets, the Spurs.
But I know. So that's what, right. My question was not whether KD is a great team. But the accusation was that he took the easy way out, which I think that's what he was trying. That's what Kendrick Perkins was trying to say. That he took the easier way to a championship, which is not expected from a superstar in his peak.
That's
like you would not say. No, what I'm saying is, if T-Mac did it when he tried to ring chase in San Antonio, you would not say anything because he was not at the peak of his powers. Yeah. That's not T-Mac. That's not like the T-Mac that you associate with.
Right.
If Vince Carter goes to the Warriors, tries to get a ring, you're not going to say anything bad because he's given his entire life trying to do something and it's not worked out. You'll still be okay with it. But it felt like KD at the height of his powers was chasing a ring. So that is the question. Do you feel that is a reasonable accusation to make?
No, because I don't think he was. I think as a player, you do two things, right? You find a team that plays your style, and second, you go to a team that's going to help you win a championship, right? Now, both of those were the Warriors.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Right now, if KD would have joined the Spurs would have won the championship. There is no doubt about it.
I agree.
If KD would have joined the Rockets were going to win the championship. Right. So my point being that I think the Clippers were okay. I don't know if the Clippers were very good, but
Clippers had CP3 and Griffin. No, Griffin. They had.
Yeah. So I mean, my point again stands that I think he went to the place that he could, like there was no doubt he could have won the ring, but any other team that was below it, like he could have joined any of those teams and they would have won the championship. So I disagree with this fact that like he doesn't like I don't take away the championships from him because he was such a good player that he could have joined any of those teams and they would have been direct contenders. The only problem I had with him going to the Golden State Warriors is that it's the easiest way out, and that was like a definite, like on a percentage basis, right? If you have to put it, then Golden State Warriors become like 100%, and nobody wants to watch NBA that is 100%. Where you know who's going to win.
Yeah.
So that was the only thing. So now that we have cleared the air on this, you have moved on from OKC and you are now a Houston Rockets fan. It's well documented.
No, that's not true.
Well documented on Twitter, on Ballers Bay Pod.
Absolutely not true. Absolutely not true. I deny both of them categorically. I never said that. I just said I was having doubts because this is not the same team that I started.
So are you still a Thunder fan?
Obviously, man, I watch all the Thunder games. I wake up in the morning and watch all the Thunder games.
So you're not a Rockets fan now. So this is confirmed.
No, see,
this is a confirmation that.
See, I want the Rockets to win because they have the better chance of winning. But heart will always bleed OKC blue, whatever color that is. OKC blue.
So you're saying that in this season you are supporting Houston Rockets because you think that they're going to win.
I want them to win. I don't think they're going to win though, but I want them to win.
Okay, cool. This is clear now for me. So what do you think about the OKC playing really well?
Yeah, man. They have a very decent team and they are.
So now they're playing. You have watched all the OKC games?
I've watched most of them. I didn't see the last Lakers game or there was one more loss. Like 2 games I've not seen which they've lost. Very miraculous. Not miraculous. They've got whooped. But all the other games I've seen. Yeah, most of them. Like 80% of the games.
The Clippers.
The one with the Clippers that they won.
Yeah.
I saw that. That one at home. Yes. They lost the one in.
The one that defeated the Rockets.
No, I did not see that. I did not see that.
You didn't see the Russell Westbrook return?
No. I could not see that. I was,
What do you mean by you couldn't see? My God.
I don't know. I mean, I didn't have it in me. No, man. Like there was some other external activities which did not allow me to wake up.
External activities there.
Yes.
Forgiven. Okay, so tell me why OKC is playing so well. I have no idea. I haven't watched a single OKC game.
I think OKC is.
So tell me what's working for OKC.
Well, there's a lot of ball movement. There's not enough. There's not a lot of bogging it down. I think the per player SGA has taken most of the shots, but it is equally distributed between Gallinari as well as Chris Paul. But the best thing I like about it is now Steven Adams gets a lot more of the ball in the low post.
That's good.
I mean, I think the first play that they had in this season, not regular season, the postseason, was a Chris Paul to Steven Adams for a 3-pointer in the corner. I was like, this feels weird, but they have not gone back to that play ever again after that. So, I mean, that little tidbits aside, I think what's worked for them is literally everybody is, contributing. They've got some lucky breaks in terms of defense, like the young guns. They've played great defense, whether it's Terrence Ferguson.
But what's their general, like, in terms of, like, how do they generally run their plays? Is it like Chris Paul
how do they run their plays? I mean, they start at the top and then like they make a play for SGA. If that doesn't work, Gallinari shoots a 3. And
so SGA gets the first sort of.
Come on, man. It depends. It depends on play, but most of the time, it's they give the ball to SGA and ask him to make a play. I mean, that's what I've seen in the first half of the game. When it goes to the third quarter, fourth quarter, CP3 kind of takes over. He's the one who's got all the things. And even the Steven Adams thing also, he gets most of his touches in the second quarter is where they run a play specifically for him. They feed him the ball in the low post and he gets to work. So.
And what about my main man, Dennis Schroeder?
Dennis Schroeder is the boss, man. He's the boss. He was playing well last year also, and he's doing pretty much the same this year, except I think he's a little more efficient.
Schroeder,
Dennis Schroeder is crazy. Dennis Schroeder was he was an amazing pickup. I've always felt weird that we could not make more use of Schroeder. Schroeder was a proper sixth man candidate of the year.
Anybody with Russell Westbrook is very difficult to make use of.
No,
Being honest, man. I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's all right. I would rather.
And I think you realize that it is the honest truth.
I see. Truth and what you like watching is completely different. I mean, truth might be like an objective from a stats point of view or an advanced analytics point of view and all that. But I love watching Russell Westbrook play, and because he reminds me of my own selfish ways, and I'm like, okay, that's fine.
It is true.
I'm okay with that. I like watching Westbrook because of that. I mean, come on, man. There are 30 teams play in the league. One team wins, so you've got a 0.03 chance of winning the championship. It's not for everyone. It's all right. Like, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it because it doesn't matter to me. I would love for them to win, but if it doesn't win, also I'm not going to think that Russell Westbrook is less of a player because he didn't win a championship. Right? It's all right.
Okay. Yeah. So OKC is now seeded number 7 in the West.
Yes,
but
sir.
the West is super weird.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you have seen it, but there are these 4 teams that are just
half a game.
One or half a game away from each other. That's the Clippers, Jazz, Mavericks,
Rockets,
and the Rockets.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think? Why is it so close? Did you ever imagine it's going to be this close? What has really changed? Why is I have absolutely no idea why. These 4 teams that ideally should not be this close are that close.
I think there's no reason for them not to be close. I mean, especially I'm more surprised about Utah than anything else. Utah had a horrible start and they lost Mike Conley and now they're playing better. Their numbers are off the charts and it's crazy. What they've done since in the past 15 games out of its 11, I think Conley has not played, which is extremely counterintuitive, I would say. Because they got Conley to provide more stability to the offense and they are playing well without him. So I don't know. Maybe it might get even better once Conley comes back. But I think your question is whether you expected all these teams to be close. I think.
Well, what my question is that is it by design or is it actually there? What I mean by that is is it something?
Is it by design as in okay?
As in like Houston Rockets, LA Clippers, and Mavericks are very new teams, so they really don't know how to play and what to play, and so you don't know how good they are at this point. So they're kind of winning and losing based on.
Why do you say they're a new team? I mean, all of those teams have exactly one additional player.
Not really.
Rockets have Westbrook, Clippers have Kawhi, and Mavericks have Luka. I mean,
but they're important players, right? So,
exactly. Which is the thing, right? They are all starting players, starting 5 players, But there's just one play. I would assume that it's just that the Western Conferences. I expected them to be close. I was on the Mavericks bandwagon, as in I knew that the Mavericks would do well, and they have done pretty well. They're official.
I don't remember this bandwagoning.
I said that Mavericks would make the playoffs and the Spurs would not make the playoffs in the beginning of the thing. I'm not saying bandwagoning as in I said they would win the tournament, but I think. Plus, I think they're also getting bored of this regular season nonsense. They're like,
yeah, I think it's boring.
Yeah, they're gonna have to do something about this, man.
Well, it's good. It's good for people who are betting because it's just so easy to make money. Anyways,
which is you, isn't it? But
no, a lot of people. I actually don't bet as much as a lot of people, but it's just,
you don't bet by yourself. You bet by proxy. It's just kind of
this. It's true. It's true. So Ashwin, if you had to guess what the final standing would be, obviously Lakers number one.
Yes, definitely in the West. Lakers number one.
Okay.
Yeah, no doubt.
And how are the next four?
I would say Lakers 1. I want to say Rockets 2, but I know that's just like putting money nowhere. So I'll say Denver Nuggets 2, because again we have started to underestimate the Nuggets. I know we're going to discuss about. I know we're going to discuss about them later. So I'm a little sorry for jumping the gun, but I expect Nuggets to be number 2. I expect Mavs to be number 3 because I think I expect them to peak at that moment, like towards the end of the season, so that they. I expect Rockets to be 4 and Jazz to be 5, and after that it's like I don't
Clippers,
know. Oh, the Clippers is there. My bad. So Clippers below Mavericks.
So Clippers 4.
Clippers 4. Yeah. Then Rockets, Jazz. Rockets, Jazz, so that's 6. Then OKC, and I expect the Spurs to be in the final. The Spurs to round up that thing. Or I expect OKC to go to 8 and Spurs to be in 7.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
No, I think Spurs are. I have a feeling about the Spurs.
Spurs defeated the Bucks, by the way. Do you remember
that? Spurs are. Did they defeat the Raptors today, or did they lose to the Raptors?
They defeated the Raptors.
They defeated Raptors in Raptor Town.
In Raptor Town.
Nice. I mean, Spurs, Kelly, I have like they've suddenly they're playing much better. Like I've no hope for the Trailblazers. So
suddenly, remember how suddenly, I defeated you in the last game.
Yes.
At the last moment.
Yes, I should
Things
not
are
have
not sudden, my friend. Things are not sudden.
Yes, they are, but whatever.
Okay. Well, I mean, so. This is
we're just gonna ignore the Eastern Conference because we don't care.
Eastern Conference is useless. It's just
useless. Absolutely no point.
Yeah, I mean, it's either the Bucks or the Sixers that are coming through.
I think we have something there also.
You think Celtics? You think Celtics?
Is it yes? I think Celtics are. I think Celtics will surprise a few people this year. They'll surprise me because last time I bet on them and they surprised the hell out of me.
You didn't bet on them. You bet on their coach. You said, "Oh, Brad Stevens."
Yeah, man. Yeah, what a guy! He just destroyed me completely. I was never this confident even for like OKC.
You were so confident about Brad Stevens.
Brad Stevens, my ass, my God! It's a good thing I don't have money to bet. Or a proxy. But yeah, I expect Celtics. Let me ask you this: now, have you been? I mean, I'm sure you're not watching Celtics game and all, but
I watched one Celtics game. I think against the Nets.
And that's not a real game. Anyway, but yeah, Celtics. I think what Jason Tatum had some 41 points in 3 quarters sort of game. I've always been a Jason Tatum fan since the day I saw his jump shot and the way he dunked on LeBron and then chest bumped him. So I don't know. I think they have, plus Jaylen Brown this season has been absolutely balling. I forgot. I think they were playing the 76ers and they've whooped 76ers ass. So I have a good feeling. Was that without Embiid?
Without Embiid.
Not so sure. Okay, I'm not so sure actually. But yeah, so I mean, even if nobody asks, I think it'll be Bucks top and then Celtics and then 76ers, Raptors and then whoever else is in the Eastern
Pacers?
Conference. No, not Pacers. No. I don't expect the Pacers
You
to
think
be.
after Oladipo comes, also Pacers won't be good?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, yes. I think what I said. Yeah.
What about the Nets after Kyrie comes back?
Please don't ruin this nice moment where we discuss the Eastern Conference by talking about the Nets.
Okay,
And those teams don't matter, man. Like I'm now thinking that if everything goes well, then we'll have one more year at the All-Star game, touchwood, and we'll focus on that, and then we'll go to the second half of the season, and we'll finally be getting closer to the playoffs, and we can start doing things. But yeah, Eastern Conference, it's Bucks, Celtics, and 76ers. Raptors also I don't feel, but they played very well this season, and absolute props to them for doing it in the absence of Kawhi. But Bucks was Celtics for me, I think.
And Siakam's not been playing for almost a month now.
A month now, yeah, he's expected to return, but I think it still should be Bucks or Celtics.
Cool. So I mean, speaking of selfish play that you like,
Yes.
Recently there was the main man Kobe, the Black Mamba. The destroy, dominate.
The stealer of souls.
Yeah, stealer of souls was on the Up in the Smoke part, I think.
Yeah. I mean, not Up in the Smoke, one of those podcasts.
Yeah, one of those podcasts. And he was asked the question that if Shaq and Kobe would have stayed together, how many championships would they win? And you know what his answer was?
No.
His answer was the Spurs were really, really good.
Yeah, I mean, we don't need Kobe Bryant to tell us that.
No, I mean, so my question to you is, if the Lakers and if there was no Lakers, do you think the Spurs would have won 10 championships?
Absolutely not. I don't think so.
Absolutely not.
I think what Kobe is trying to say in this thing is, see, how many times have the Spurs beaten the Lakers in the playoffs?
Twice. In 1999 and 2003.
No, I'm talking about once they started winning, so 2000 onwards.
They were very good in 1999.
No, it doesn't matter. I'm talking about from 2000 onwards. I'll tell you what Kobe is trying to do here.
Obviously, let me try to the playoffs because they won the 3-peat.
No, that's what I'm saying, right? I'm telling you why Kobe is saying that they would have won 10 straight. See, Kobe Bryant defeated Lakers, they beat the Spurs in 2000. In 2001 also, I think. 2001. Yeah, 2001 also. And 2001 they swept them. 2000 I don't think they beat them. 2001 they beat them. And then 2003 they beat them with that. 2004 they beat them with that Derek Fisher 0.4 second thing. And after that, so Kobe beat them in 2008, I think, or 9 or 10, one of those seasons. I know we beat them one of those seasons. Okay. So basically what he's trying to say is the Spurs were so dominant and yet I beat them with no help, so I'm the best player in the world. That is simply what he's trying to say.
That is what Kobe is trying to say.
That is what Kobe is trying to say. Kobe is not trying to say that Spurs are great, give them props. He'll never say that. He is saying simply that the Spurs were so great, so imagine how great I am that I beat them with a bunch of chumps. Of course, he's not talking about the Shaq time.
Shaq era, yeah.
No, he's not that stupid also. But he's saying I still beat the greatest team of all time with their entire cast intact, and I beat them with a bunch of nobodies.
I don't remember when they beat them in 2009.
I think 2008, one of those seasons. We can do a quick search for this. In 2007-2008, when the Lakers went to the finals, they beat them 4-1.
Okay.
And that was the last time they met in the playoffs, apart from in Kobe's last year. So
okay.
When they swept them again, like Spurs swept the Lakers. So as we found out on this research, on this amazingly researched pod, that Kobe Bryant beat the completely fit, coming off of a championship run in 2007 Spurs, single-handedly kind of, 4-1.
4-1.
And that's why he's saying Spurs were so great, because all he wants to say is that I'm the best. I whooped their ass. Yeah, exactly. But I know you don't agree with that, and that's fairly...
No. I mean, he's a very good player.
Thank you.
He's a good player. He's a top 15 player. I'm going to give him that. Top 15. Top 15.
But you don't think top 10?
Top 10 is very difficult. I mean, the top 10 that I have watched, yes. But I don't know, like the Bill Russells, the Will Chamberlains, the Oscar Robertson. These people you have to add because of legacy.
Peer pressure.
Yeah, peer pressure. Like, you don't know how. Like, Jerry West has, like, you see Jerry West's number and it's like this guy was out of the world, right? And he scored that much points without the 3-pointer.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so you how can you not put Jerry West in that, right? He went to 9 finals. If there was no Boston Celtics, he would have probably won at least 4.
Yeah, man. If my aunt had an Adam's apple, she would be my uncle. That's... What is this?
No, man. I mean,
but of course, okay. Let me ask you this question then. Let me ask you this question. Do you think so? Exactly right. Like I understand your quandary about how to rank Kobe Bryant, but do you think it's fair to rank people across different eras? Like, can you compare a Bob Cousy to a Steve Nash?
Yeah.
You can?
I think it's fine.
Okay.
Who you said?
A Bob Cousy to a Steve Nash.
I mean, if you have watched both, yes. I mean, if you're not watched...
that's what I'm saying. Like, I know you don't rank players according to their individual greatness. You rank them according to what they did for the team. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, like numbers wise, nobody can come close to what Will Chamberlain did, like the 30 points, the 40 points, the 50 points, 60 points, 70 points, 80 points, 90 points, 100 points, everything. Yeah, nobody can come close to it. But you look at him through the glass of what he meant for the team, or was he able to help his team win, which is what basketball is all about, right? Yes. It's not an individual sport. It's not like tennis. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you could have watched Bob Cousy in the 50s and 60s, and you watched Steve Nash in 2000s in the full fast game where, like hand check is not. I mean, the entire game's feel is different, right?
Yeah.
Like, even at Tim Duncan, like I think on the last pod, Sean was saying something very interesting. I've been thinking about that like since the pod was recorded, that Roy Hibbert is a poor man's Tim Duncan. Could Tim Duncan have existed in this era playing the way that he played when he was the best part? He was the top 2 player in the league. Shaq and then him. I would say Shaq and then him.
Yes.
So do you think it's fair to talk about people in like completely different eras?
No, I mean, what I'm saying is you can't compare the two, but you can say what one person did in that era and like measure that, right? For example, like Bob Cousy was probably a very good player, but in his era, Bill Russell and Will Chamberlain were the best of the best.
Okay.
Right? So you can't put Bob Cousy when you have to talk about the 60s, because you had these two players who were like really good. And then you had Jerry West, who was coming in the end of the 60s, who was really good. So Bob Cousy, as good as he was...
But Bob Cousy was the point guard of your 11-time champion. I mean, I think he was a 6-time champion. He was 6-time. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Come on, man. 6s.
Yeah, even then when you're rating the best of, you're in the top 10 echelon of things, right? So you can't put Bob Cousy there. Would you take Bill Russell or Bob Cousy?
Bill Russell.
Bill Russell. So if you have to, are you saying comparing Bob Cousy and Steve Nash?
Yes,
I would take Bob Cousy.
Why would you take Bob Cousy?
Because he won 6 championships and he was the best.
So what?
He was a point guard of that
so
time.
What?
That's my point. So this is where I differ, right, from most people. It's like for example, Scottie Pippen is in my top 25 all time.
Okay.
Right. Because people just think that Magic, Michael did everything. No, he had Scottie Pippen.
Scottie Pippen was the assist, rebounds leader.
He did everything. He guarded the best player on the other side. He got all the rebounds. He gave Michael the ball. He did everything to get Michael Jordan to play at the elite level that Michael played.
Yeah.
So this idea and this concept that winning doesn't matter. Doesn't like I don't like. I think Steve Nash was great, but he didn't win, so I can't. He didn't win anything. He didn't. I think he reached the finals once.
No, he didn't reach the finals.
No?
Not the NBA finals. He reached the Western Conference finals.
Yeah. Which was kind of like the finals,
Speaking of Steve Nash, please check out the Bill Simmons Book of Basketball 2.0 podcast. The one with Steve Nash. He's he seems like such a chill guy. He's like, I'm like, what a cutie pie.
Yeah.
Cutie pie Steve Nash. Shout out to him. Yeah.
Well, that's it. I think we were going to talk about the Nuggets. Should we talk about the Nuggets? Or should we keep it next?
I think you want to talk about a player of the Nuggets. So we'll do one thing. We'll talk. We'll give him 1 week to prove himself a little bit more to the esteemed gentleman at the Ball is Bay podcast.
Yes. We shall track him for 1 more week.
Yes, 1 more week. You have Mr. We will not say his name, but I think everyone knows who he is.
Yeah, you should. Whoever wants to watch his how good is he, they should go watch his highlights on YouTube. It's incredible.
Okay, and if there are any Seinfeld fans, you should know that there's a very good chance that he might be a serial killer. So let's see if anybody can decode that hint.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Host.
All right, on that good note, man. We have finally recorded our first pod of 2020.
2020.
Yes. And we are going to go for another decade. Ashwin, you think so?
Yes, sir.
We can do another decade?
I think we can do another decade as long as we don't kill each other.
Yeah. I don't think we're killing each other.
No.
Not
we
yet.
love each other too much.
Not yet. Till we are in different countries, it is okay.
I think it's okay.
It's okay. All right, man. That's it for this week.
Okay, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, my host does not know social media protocol, so please follow us on Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast. Anywhere you listen to your podcast, we are there. And if you are not there, you please let us know, and we will be there by the next time you hear us. That's our guarantee. That's our Ball is Bay guarantee. So we had a recent episode with Prince Pal Singh of Indian national team. Very soft-spoken guy. It was a good conversation.
It was a good conversation. I heard it and I was like, oh, this is pretty good. He's a smart guy. He's ambitious. And he reminded me of all the bad days when I was playing under 15. Because I used to hate this Haryanvi, Jat. No, what do you call it?
Jat.
Jats, right?
Jats, yes.
Yeah, Jats with a T, not a H.
No.
And I used to hate them. Because we used to go for nationals and we used to be all 5'1" and they would be all 5'9", and they couldn't speak English. They would be like, "Arre ball de na, arre ball plus karna," and you'd be like, "Oh God," it's just it was very frustrating to play against these people because they're bigger, faster, taller.
Better.
Yes. Not better. I don't think they were skill-wise really good. But
you can't teach height, man. Come on.
You can't teach height, man. As you learned in
the finals, yes.
In the finals. So I think it was great. It was great listening to your interview. Your interviewing skills have improved.
Thank you very much.
And that too in Hindi. Hashtag Hindi.
Hashtag Hindi. Hashtag Hinterland. Hashtag Hindiland.
Hashtag Hindutva.
No, not that one.
Not yet.
When they take over the country, then we'll be forced to do it anyways.
Yeah, we'll be forced to do it. Okay, cool.
Yeah, anyway. Right. And he promises that once he gets a little more fluent in English, he'll come back to the pod and we'll have the discussion in English.
Oh, sounds great.
Yeah, sounds great. Yeah. And awesome. Next time maybe we'll meet him face to face and I'll look up to him because he's 6'8" or something.
He's 6'8"?
6'8", 6'9", yeah.
Oh,
he's not a kid, man. He's like a fully grown adult.
Adult. He sounds like a kid though.
He's a soft-spoken guy. He's a very very soft-spoken. Extremely unlike both of us.
We are extremely soft-spoken. From the inside. Inside is very soft. Outside a little loud, but inside is really soft.
He's a talented guy who speaks softly. Okay then. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, chalo. Vineet has to go. So Vineet, say bye.
Yes. Bye-bye everybody.
Cheers. See you next time.